Josh is from great state of Texas. He'll be sorting through our breeding sheep today. Josh grew up on a grain and livestock farm in central Indiana where his parents had a handful of Hereford and Limousin cows and operated a turkey breeder facility. Sheep weren't as common in his area, but when he was 13, he purchased a group of Cornell ewes where his passion for the sheep industry sparked. Coons attended Joliet Junior College, then transferred to Texas Tech University, participating on the ground livestock judging team for both colleges. He began his judging career when he was 18 years old at the Iroquois County Fair and has been judging livestock shows ever since at various levels from local, county, region, and state, at major shows all over the country, most recently OYE and Cow Palace. And we're happy to have Josh here sorting through our breeding sheep. We're about to get started. We're going to hand the microphone over to Jasmine Morifus, who's going to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. And then Caitlin Dickinson's going to sing our national anthem.
I pledge allegiance Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We need our first class of junior breeding ewes. Dorset Spring Ewe Lambs ringside. We'll be checking you in as you come through the gate. Please.
We need all of our amateur breeding ewes, registered amateur breeding ewes, to the show ring, please. Downstairs, please remain inside. Bringing land, after bringing land, please remain inside.
Well, good morning. Here in the Breeding Show, we start with a small class of Dorset females with the Dorset Advantage thrown in here, and I think it's a good class. I think it's a nice way to start to kind of get things rolling, and to be honest, you know, there's There's some challenges between the placings of these four particular sheep we've got. I think it's a close top pair here for your champion and your reserve champion ewe. Two ewes that I think just put together the most look and the most quality up front. To me, their chest floors are better than the two that follow them. And between first and second, for me, I guess the one that we lead with, we set her into motion. And I just think that female comes up out of her shoulder blade just a notch better for me. I like her neck, I like her head, I like just her posture there up front. And then you study that one on back, and her skin's good, her body shape's good. That one fundamentally does a lot of things correct as well. Our reserve view here, you get her propped up, and she takes a great picture. I like her levelness of top that she's got. She's square heel, she runs uphill. Good presented one there as well. I guess when we set them loose, for me, I think that's where that one just lands second. She's not bad up front. I just don't think she's maybe as elegant and as feminine as that female that leads up front in terms of just the base of her neck and where it's set there into her sternum and her shoulder blade like the champion female. Really nice pair there on top. And another nice sheep that comes to us here in third. I love her bone work and her feature there at the ground. That one right there has got a great big top in her. I love her shape down her back there as well. I guess when you give it around on the side, her underline just runs the wrong way for me. I'd like to bring her up in her chest and drop her flank just a little bit more. I guess from a breeding standpoint, she's probably got enough muscle. We can argue she's big enough in her mid set and her upper hip if we could open her up there just a fraction more. But I think, again, more importantly, that underline for me just throws her off in terms of her balance and her look. The advantage view that comes here in four, long body, feminine, high quality one. Just like to see more of that unit internally, I think, in terms of her body and her flank and her shape there when we get right over the top of her. Congratulations, gentlemen. Nice job there.
Congratulations, Peyton Van Schindel, first place, Chancellor Johnson, second place, Loyal Burns, third place, and Dakota Alvarez, fourth place. Now entering the ring, Spring Ewe Lambs, registered Hampshires. We have 6 exhibitors.
Emily Ward in the second area. Emily Ward, who needs you southbound. Our next class up will be southbound Yearling News, please be ringside, Ariana Dodd, Emily Leah Moore.
Nice class of Hampshire females here, and for your champion up here, I think a ewe that's really broody in terms of her body and her depth and her depth of center and flank that she's got. That one right there has got a lot of muscle and shape up high. She's still, I think what's unique about that one is for how much body and how much depth of center she has. She's still attractive. She's still up fronted and feminine up through that front end, like a lot of things about that female. Your reserve Hampshire ewe here in second. Boy, that one's high quality right there. Good looking, good balanced one, really long top. That one's got a great look to her. When we set her into motion, for being that long bodied, she still stays together really well. I think when you compare that class winner to her, we could see just a little bit bigger hip, maybe a bigger pin set in that one, just kind of blow her apart just a little bit. I think with some maturity there, where she'd really give that one a run for her money. Two really good ones there on the top end. You that comes here in 3, when we get that one on the stand, you really like that one because she's square made, she's got plenty of muscle to her. She's probably one of the stouter featured, I think, of the top 3 that we've got. When we set her into motion, she wants to duck that chest floor, kind of run downhill a notch more than maybe I'd like to see. And that, I think that's where we have to put her there into the 3rd in terms of just quality and femininity up through her breastplate and her chest floor. You here in 4. I like this one again on the stand in terms of feature, muscle, and power. I think as we go down the line too, there's plenty of muscle in these particular females. This one gets a notch more modern, I think, for me. And 2, when we get her out there and we travel her out, she just wants to kind of come down in her lower body there and through her chest more, much like the one there that we just exited the ring with. She's been 4 and 5, 2 of them that come here, and the 1 and 4 is big in her kind. I like that about her. She's got some length up front, some length down her spine there. I guess she's a bit rounder out her tail head. She's more open in her shoulder up front, so we lay her in 5. And then we round out the top 6 with here. Really thick, really heavy muscles. I like that about her. I just got to see her up off the ground more to get her up into that top 5. Congratulations, you young people. Nice set of Hampshire people.
Exhibitors, those of you with the black face weather or weather dance, they don't have to be black face. There's one more class of south down, so make a champion south down you, and then we'll move into the lightweight class of the weather dance. So those of you that are in that class one, the 67 to 111 pounds, if you could be head this way. First class of the weather dance, let's have you head this way. We'll get you off the scale in just a second or two and be ready to go.
Just a pair of them here on South Down Yearling Drive and two different shapes I think we've got with these females. I like to go with the one that just has a little bit more muscle to her. She's a little bit square, I think, out of her hip and off her hind leg there. I like her structurally. I still like her feature too in terms of her bone and her substance. I think she's, of the pair, I think she's still feminine enough here in this particular class. Good nice female here to start with. And you in second, really big at her time. You like her growth, you like her extension that she's got, really long top kind of a U. A U, I guess, from behind for me. You just maybe got to see a little bit more of her down her top line there, through her pin set, and her upper hip in terms of just muscle volume. I just like to clean her up in her pattern a fraction more there too as well, but certainly one you like for her bigness of time and her extension. She's got some quality up front in that front 1/3. Congratulations to these two young ladies. Again, just a pair of Southtown U-lambs here, and some give and take in these two, and I think these two are close. There's some trade-offs between them, I think. For me, the one that we used, I think that was just a stouter feature kind of view in terms of her bone, her substance, and yet I think she's still got probably the best look, too, for me on the side in terms of her angles and her levelness at the top. Yeah, we can change that when we like maybe to clean her up through her chest floor, her breastplate up front, maybe even give her a little bit more length of hip there. I think on the side, you want to be critical of that one. It usually comes in seconds, not bigger her kind, and I like that. I like the length from her blade to her hip down the top line there. She measures a little bit longer there as well, and certainly one that's got enough width, volume, and muscle, and a width of center there. If you want to talk about body shape and body volume, I think more importantly to me, structurally, I just like to see that guy just get out and just move a little bit freer off both ends of her skeleton, kind of set her back there and her knee and her shoulder blade a tick more, and then give her some more flex and angle there to her hop there when she moves on out as well. Good training, congratulations.
Congratulations, Taylor Williams, first place. Second place to Karsten Tobin. We'll leave those standing where they are, and we'll bring in the yearling ewes.
Class 1 looking for Carson Bell, Dylan Carlisle, Avery Sawyer, Oscar Ledesma, Austin Bell, Alan Morris, and Emma Woods. That's Class 1 of the Weather Dam.
Well, here in your champion Southtown Drive, I think 4 females, we have those 2 classes that come to us in each different kind and shape and style, if you will. I think there's there's a lot of differences out here, and certainly you can select your favorite, but I think this is probably an easy one for me, I think, to use in terms of muscle, look, and balance. Young lady that won the yearling class is going to be your champion Southtown ewe. I think we're going to follow with one for reserve again. Her angle is good, her looks good. When we commented in class on how good bone she is, the class winner out of the ewe class over there on the far side will be your reserve champion. Congratulations to these ladies.
Here at the Breeders' Show, still looking for Dylan Carlisle, Oscar Ledesma, Alan Morris.
Grand Champion Grand Champion Southdown, Uland. Grand Champion Southdown was on our yearling ewe. Congratulations, Emily Lynn Ward, reserve champion Taylor Williams. Class 1, Weather Dam, you should be ready to come in the ring. Class 2, headed to the scale.
Last call, Dylan Carlisle. Dylan Carlisle, lightweight, Class 1, Weather Dam. Class is about to go in the ring. Dylan Carlisle.
Weather Dams entering the ring now.
Class 2, let's have you head this way. Class 2 of the weather dam, 117 to 124 pounds. Dylan, Carlisle, if you're in the barn and you can hear this, hurry, your class is actually in the ring. Class 2, looking for Travis Higgins, Ryan Pickleton, Valley Garland, Kaylee Foster, Wyatt Harrison, Oscar Ledesma, Avery Quick.
Class 3, be ready. Class 3, be ready.
See if we can get those ULANs up here for Wyatt Harrison and Oscar Ledesma, Class 2, 120, 121 pounders. Class 3, we're going to need you to be gathering ringside.
Well, this is a fun class to start the weather dams out with this kind of quality and muscle and power and shape and look that we've got in all these sheep. I think, you know, for the lightweight class, these things come in here and they line up pretty consistently, I think, for me. Boy, this little girl here on the top end, that one right there is flashy. That's, if you're a show sheep breeder ringside and you see one like that come in, that's one you can build around for sure in terms of just, man, muscle and look and quality and balance. I love her length and neck she's got. We can make her neck a little bit higher there on the top of her blade, but study that top line in comparison to her underline for one that's that age, or that weight, I guess, if you will. That one right there does a lot of good things here in this particular class. The sheep that comes here in second, you know, that one's an easy winner if that one's not, the one above her's not in here, to be honest. I think there's some separation from here on down. That one's great body, good length, love that chest floor elevation and width that she's got. You know, I guess when we get down to it in terms of just maybe some show ring look up front in terms of length of neck and just thinness of neck, I think that one may have more of an advantage. That one may have a notch more shape to her too, but at the same time, that one's fundamentally pretty right and correct and built very, very good. The ewe that comes here in third, I think this one on the brace is better than she is when she's loose. She gets her gathered up and she comes together with some muscle and some shape there. Certainly one that's got plenty of touch to her. You know, when we set her in motion, she wants to flatten there in her rib and just run downhill just a fraction more, I think, maybe than those two ewes there right above her. The ewe that comes here in fourth, you know, this is one, if you're into muscle and power all day long, then rise her to the top, no question. I mean, that one's got a ton of shape and substance and feature and bone. I got to get that one up off the ground for me, and especially in the ewe class. She's got to be lifted up to her front end there when we set her into motion. She's got to have more length and extension up front. She's just a tick too moderate, I think, for me and for my kind, I guess. But power, muscle, shape, bone, you gotta like that about her quite a bit. Who you we round out the top 5 with? I love her handling, her touch. She's square built from behind. She's 3-dimensional. She's wide based. She's built from the ground up there. Here's a girl though, we set her loose, and I think maybe she just wants to kind of get a little bit tighter in her spine. She's not as loose and athletic out of her hips structurally, so we got to land her there in 5th. Great class to work to. Let's congratulate these Class 1 exhibitors.
Congratulations, Carson Bell, first place. Second place, Emma Woods. Third place, Lexi Hunt. Fourth place, Hannah Seaver. Fifth place, Oscar Ledesma. Sixth place, Austin Bell. Seventh place, Mackenzie Adams. Eighth place, Alan Morris. Ninth place, Wyatt Harrison. And 10th place, Wyatt Harrison. Thank you, exhibitors. Class 2, are we ready to enter the ring?
Class 3 to the scale area, Class 3. Weather dam to the weight area.
Judge, you have 12 head in Class 2.
Really nice class. I think from top to bottom in here, we've got a set of sheep that are really good and good presented ones. They're fit good and fed well into this class. And with that being said, I think we get towards the top end here, and I think it's really competitive in my mind. I think maybe it comes down to a pair of them or so. But, you know, the ewe lamb we start with, I think she has the most totals for me in terms of just combining some look and some quality and balance and presence, with still some sheer width and power and muscle shape there in that girl. She's three-dimensional. I love her on a three-quarter view, and when you get over the top of that one, she's still got enough muscle, and yet she's still ladylike enough up front, I think, in terms of her look and her femininity and quality there as well. The ewe in second. You like them big ribbed and heavy boned. Well, this one right here, I think, does that extremely well. Really big feet and feature on that girl. Love her at the ground there in terms of just her substance that she's got. Like her from rib to rib there. We get over the top of her. Her hip shape's great. You know, we could maybe open her up at her ankles just a fraction more. Maybe just stretch her out and just kind of make her a rib longer or two and give her some more length up front, I think, to crack that top placing. You that does do that comes here in 3. That one's really extended, really long bodied. You love her femininity and quality she's got, you know, I love that thinness and immaturity of head and neck on that girl. I think when we get behind her, I just got to see some more belly in that one. Got to see some more rib and body, I think, to get her into that top pair. Good quality female here. You know, we just got to give her a shot more flank there, maybe a little bit more maturity in terms of that body shape, I think, when you study that one three-dimensionally. You here in 4. On the side view, that one right there frustrates me, because when we get over the top of that one, she's got a ton of shape and power and muscle. She's fresh. We back off to the side of her underline just doesn't match her top line there. You know, we've got to maybe open her up there in her forerib, bring her up in her chest floor there just to give her a bit more balance and look there on the side, I think, to get her into the top trio. We round out the top 5 here with a sheep that set her loose. She's a show sheep. She gets out. She's high-headed. She's cocky. I like that about her. She's feminine up front. She's got plenty of muscle, I think, you know, in terms of volume there. We can maybe make her bigger in her hip or her pin set from behind, but I think more importantly, just maybe give her a little bit more flex and give out of her hip and her hind leg. Great class. Congratulations, these exhibitors. Nice job.
Class 4, please make your way to the scale area.
Congratulations, exhibitors in Class 2. First place, Madison Woods. Second place, Laney Green. Third place, Kirsten Wall. Fourth place, Avery Sawyer. Fifth place, Tyler Morgan. Sixth place, Oscar Ledesma. Seventh place, Travis Higgins. Eighth place, Kaylee Faulkner. Ninth place, Mariah Singleton. And 10th place, Dally Carlisle. Now entering the ring, Class 3.
Those of you that have market goats, if there's anybody that has a collection of them that could be used for round robin or master showmanship tonight, we need 5. So if amongst yourselves or your friends, if you could come up with 5 weather goats, we want them to all be the same, roughly the same size and stuff. If you could come up here and let us know, we sure would appreciate that. I know people are trying to leave and what have you, but we do need to have 5 goats for the master showmanship this afternoon. That'll be at 4:30, and then that should be all over and done with it as far as the rotations for the goats. We hope by 6. So if you've got a goat and could help us out, if you would, please come up and let us know. Thank you.
Class 4, please make your way to the scale area. Class 4.
And thanks to the Liska family, we disregard that message about the goats. We've got to handle, appreciate it. Weather dams, class 4. We'll weigh in you now. Weather dams, class 4. Still looking for Rowdy Campfield. Van Tindall, Neil Naylor, and Madison Wood.
Nice class, and I think a top pair of them here that we're chasing. I think there's quite a bit of separation from those two on back for me. You know, I guess as we study these structurally and we walk these sheep quite a bit, you know, I take it with kind of a grain of salt at times because this sand doesn't jihad with some of these sheep out here. Sometimes they kind of want to act like they're a little bit afraid of it at times. So I walk them a few times just to try to get right down to it and study the joints and their angles and stuff. And so that's what I do on this top pair, you know, because I think both of these crop up really, really good. I like the UAM here that wins. This one is heavy muscle, a lot of shape, a lot of power. You know, I think when we set her loose, her front 1/3 is better in terms of being up off the ground than the one in second. And I think that's where the advantage lies. And two, between her hocks from behind, I think she's got more genuine width and squareness. Now this UAM in second, he gets her stuck and she is way good, okay? That one has got a lot of shape down her top, a lot of power and muscle. Love that side view shape to her leg there, you know. When we set her in motion, I kept watching those hocks and those rear feet. When she led away, I just like to square her up there and open her up there. We could give her some more lift when she gets out and gets going out of her front end. She does a heck of a job of getting that out of her when we set her up though. That one right there is still a really, really good sheep for sure. The blue ewes that comes here in 3, that one is long pattern, good looking, high quality, you know, still ties together pretty well for as long as she is there. But for me, that one, I think we just got to see a little bit more spread and dimension through the center part of her rib and her pin set from behind to get into that really good top pair. Ewe that comes here in 4, you know, this one right here kept growing on me. She came in and she was the high-headed kind of show sheep of the bunch. You know, she got her head and her neck up out of her shoulder blade there. But I think once we studying her 3-dimensionally there again, she's one of those to get in that top pair. We just got to open her up a little bit, maybe make her a tick more mature from flank to flank and from rib to rib there as we study her directly down her spine. But a good high-quality one right there, presented good as well. Ewe that we round out the top 5 with, a different one of the bunch. Heavy bone, big featured one. You know, that one's got a ton of substance. That one is really, really unique there at the ground. A lot of power, a lot of muscle and shape. Just kind of maybe just freak her out a little bit and get some more lift up front, maybe some more extension of neck, get her up off the ground just a little bit to get into some of these bigger classes. Great class for us. So let's put our hands together and congratulate these young people. That was a nice set of sheep. Good job for them.
Class 5, please make your way to the scale. Class 5, please make your way to the scale.
Class 4 is entering the ring. Results from Class 3. First place, Haley Seaver. Second place, Neil Eller. Third place, Lauren Ott. Fourth place, Tyler Morgan. Fifth place, Anna Stratton. Sixth place, Oscar Ledesma. Seventh, Taylor Haynes. Eighth place, Gabrielle Vering. Ninth place, Amber Christensen. And 10th place, Jericho Pino. Congratulations, exhibitors, on a very tough class.
Class 4, we do have a division champion, so those of you in Class 5 just kind of hang tight. So those of you that were in Class 1, Carson Bell and Kendall Woods, Class 2, Madison Woods and Laney Green, and Class 3, Haley Seaver and Neil Naylor. Let's have those UM head back up this way pretty quick. If we can get Neil Ayler to second place, you out of class 3 up here, that'd be swell.
anybody that has not turned in their bio, that's this winter circle paper. That was one of our division grant or reserve champions. We need those immediately. They're asking for them at the main office.
Walk me a circle and come back. If you're ringside and you're studying this class as much as I am, feels like it's about 110 degrees out here right now. I can promise you that. I'd say of the 2 days that we've sorted market lambs that we used today, this is the deepest set of sheep that we've seen coming this ring by far. And I'm not maybe so certain the top end isn't as good as what we've seen so far, to be honest. Males and females alike. Boy, this class is loaded with good sheep, folks. If you're down there on the rail and you're upset, I get it. I understand, but these are firecrackers up here. I can tell you that right now. This class is incredibly deep, guys, and I'm just not blowing smoke. This one, there's some sheep out here. If we've got some more classes like this, I'm going to take my coat off and maybe my tie here in a second, because this one right here gets me fired up. There's some good ones in this deal. And these top 3, I have all different ways. And you can study these top 5, 6, and 7 over there, and you may have a favorite out of that top 7, and you can probably justify it, to be honest. There's some sheep in here that have given us some incredible looks at times as well, and then at times, you know, you just kind of want to jerk a knot in their tail and get them to go at times. But with that being said, this ewe-lamb that starts, this is the hardest one for me to poke a hole in out of this particular drive. I think this ewe-lamb is so good up front. She's feminine, she's high quality, she's balanced, she's good on the move, and I think that's what accelerates her for me to the top place here in this particular class is when you get her out there on the move, she stays together, she's athletic in her build, she's athletic in her structure, and I think that's what just allows her and me to comfortably use her here in the class winner. This sheep in second, I have Lynn for a long time. I can promise you that because that one's body shape is so good. Feature is good, bone, foot size, everything about that one you like. You start studying that one, and this is one of those that'll give you just an incredible look at times, and at times she just wants to back up and kind of duck her neck into the center part of her chest. I walk these several times because I think that's where we can fix her. Maybe just bring her neck up just a fraction more into her chest floor there, or excuse me, into her sternum, and get her up out of that shoulder blade just a little bit more, because from there back, you can't buy one better than that one, I promise. The blue sheep that comes here in her, this young lady gets this one set up, and she's stellar, I promise. That one is square, three-dimensional, wide base, wide center, and you know, we're talking about a third place sheep here. We don't even talk those two. You see this one out here. Yeah, she's pretty flashy. We can change that one on the move. I just like to jerk her front end up out of her, and I walked her several times to see if that could happen. She's good enough in her chest more. She's good enough in the length of her blade, and from there on back, you love her. Just got to get her up out of that shoulder blade and get her to go, I think, for me, to get that top hair. That's how close those top three are. Those were fun to score. And this one here in fourth isn't a slouch, I can promise. Put your hands on that one, and that's one's probably as impressive as any in the class when you start handling her in terms of muscle, shape, feature. Love that one's foot size and bone. She's still feminine enough for me. And I still think we can stop, just thin down her neck a little bit, and maybe just make her a bit better up there in the length of her blade when we set her into motion. The sheep that comes out here in 5, and we're still talking about really good sheep that you can build a flock around, I can promise. This one right here is extra good looking, high quality, upstanding kind of a female. We could maybe give her a little bit more length in neck, but I think she compensates for it in terms of just her length up front and her upstandingness. For me, when we get over around the top of her and from behind, maybe just got to open her up just a fraction more, make her a bit square out of her hip when she leaves us. We go over here into 6 and 7 and 8 on the rail over there. Plenty of muscle in those sheep. Plenty of stuff when we get behind her. Maybe we just got to clean them up on the loop there. The one in 6 just clean her breastplate up just a fraction more. The one in 7 there just give her a tick more body. Great class to work through. Please put your hands together for that class of show sheep.
We're now going to select our champion. Division 4, we're going to need all our first and second place lambs from the previous 4 classes to be ready to enter the ring. Results for class 4. First place, Madison Woods. Second place, Roddy Campfield. Third place, Riley Boyle. Fourth place, Peyton Van Schindel. Fifth place, Neil Eller. Sixth place, Chase Everett. 7th place, Kaylin Decker. 8th place, Emily Lynn Ward. 9th place, Chancelyn Johnson. And 10th place, Lauren Swan. Congratulations.
Boy, that heck of a setup as she did and these females, these first 4 classes out of the weather. And let's put our hands together and congratulate these young people here. I can promise when they loaded the trailer, they came to the party, that's for sure. They brought some good ones to do that. I can assure you that this front row here closest to me are some elite kind of females that put together some balance, some quality, and certainly some structural correctnesses. Sure, there's some differences and some give and take between some of these, and that's okay. You know, we get into those seconds over there, and I think a little bit more diversity. You know, I guess as we go through these first 4 classes here, you know, in terms of finding sheep, they'll go out and make show lambs for these families and producers. You know, we still got to have some muscle and some shape in them, but at the same time, like we talked to the market manager, they got to have some balance and some look and quality. You know, we're not going to just single trade on the heaviest muscle ones or the best looking ones. We're going to find those and combine those features and those things that are hard to make, I guess, from a breeder's perspective, and just don't take 1 year to advance the program. And I think certainly quality, structural correctness, and balance and build is something that takes years and years to make possible. And so with that being said, I think as we walk these sheep, I think that's kind of where it separates for me in terms of chest floor, neck set, head, and neck elevation out of their blade. There's one that does that to the next level. That's going to be the class 4 winner here. It's going to be a good.
And we need Angel Lopez, Blake Quiggin, Madison Rule. This is class 5 of the weather dance. 139 to 148 pounds.
You know, for reserve here, I think it gets pretty close between a couple of them that, you know, we talk about extension and length, and wow, that little girl down there on the end, she's awfully unique. You know, that class winner there, that's a thin neck, big top one that's got plenty of shape and power. Going forward, that will be fun to have. Class 2 is one that I thought just kind of fit together pretty well in terms of balance and quality. Class 3, that one came out. She combines feature, bone, and stoutness with look and muscle still. And then the second place that last class, we talked about how good that class was, and that one was so muscular and good body. So there's certainly some positives in each one of these. Again, we talked about getting them out, getting them up out of their shoulder and up out of their chest floor. Class 3 will be your reserve champion. Congratulations to her.
And we need for class 7.
Really stout class here. I think, man, we've got a pair of them up here that are lit. They're a pair of sheep that are good bodied, good built, they're high quality, man. They've got some balance, and at the same time, we spin around both breeds, and we're going to talk about ones that have some muscle and some body shape. These things are doing it. This one that leads off here, this one comes in, and this one's the high-headed show sheep of the bunch. Man, that one is so good up front. I love her neck, her thinness of neck. It sits up there on top of that blade. That's a sheep that, man, you get your hands on her too. She's maybe a fraction trimmer than the one and truer, I think, in terms of that center body width that she's got. But you set that one into motion and then you drop her up on the side. It's hard to find a hole in that one. If you get critical of her, at times, and again, I don't know if it's maybe the sand or what, but when she gets going forward, I just like to see her get going just a notch more and find a different gear maybe. That sheep in second is just absolutely grizzly legged. That one has got great shag, big feet under that one, and bone and substance and feature. You can go on for days about how that one's so powerful not only when it hits the ground, but when we get behind that one too, I love that one's body volume, sweep to her belly. That one right there, you study that underline. You can maybe get critical of that one up front there in comparison to her rear flank. When you study her on the side, I think for me that one, we've got to make her just a fraction longer in terms of that hip. And two, I think just comparatively to that class winner, maybe just not as exotic up through that front end as that class winner, but there's a pair of them right there that I think any of us would love to own and go home with. That one right here comes in third, a good sheep. Just ran into a buzzsaw of a pair of them there right above her. That one's angular, good built, great bodied one. We study that one, and she's maybe not as long as the others, particularly over the top of her hip there. You can stretch her out there over the length of her hip as well. And I think you arguably comparing to the two that are right above that one, if we could just maybe open that one up in her pin set a fraction there from behind. That one's got a lot of good pieces there in the third hole. Just ran into a pair of them that are just pretty elite. The U that hits me here in 4, that one hits me pretty hard at times. On the scans, you like that one's feature and bone work and muscle shape too. When we get over the top of her skeleton, she handles great. It's when we set that one into motion and walk her out. is where she just kind of falls into pieces for me. You know, that one wants to get a little bit lower chested, her breastplate. It wants to hit the ground and head south. You know, up front there is just where we've got to change her, I think, when we set her loose and walk her out. We round out the top 5 with one that maybe does do that. That's a high quality one, really feminine up front. You know, that one, we just got to have a shot more of sheep in that one, I think, as we get into that top 4 stout featured heavy muscle sheep. That one right there just kind of runs out of gas, I think, and we got to land her in 5, but she's good built, good body, high quality, without a doubt. Great class. Congratulations to these young people.
Class A, please make your way to the scale. Class A, please make your way to the scale.
Class 7 will be entered. Results shortly for Class 6. Class 6 results. First place, Catherine Bain. Second place, Braden Bowers. Third place, Ben Riley. Fourth place, Carly Castillo. Fifth place, Haley Albrecht. Sixth place, Austin Bell. Seventh place, Michaela Millsap. Eighth place, Joseph Taylor. Ninth place, Austin Bell. And 10th place, Caden Hughes. Congratulations, exhibitor.
Class 8, 161 to 195, winning Defender Paul Skill, Aaron Lopez, and Raquel Lopez.
We get into these heavier weights here, and I think this class offers us quite a bit of diversity. I think there's a lot of differences out here, but I think for me in this particular class, we've got an easy class winner. I think this one just comes together with the most value for me. Is she the fanciest fronted one when we said earlier? No, maybe not, but I think when they're back, she's got the most value by far in terms of just being real shapely down her top. She's still weight enough, I think, into her mid set and her stifle and her inner leg there from behind. And she's got a great underline too when we get her propped up. Good place to start here. The sheep that we've gotten second and third, there's maybe some argument between those two. The one we've gotten two is just really opened up wide. A lot of volume in that girl. Love her sweep to her belly and her flank. I think she's really flexible in terms of her structure when we get her out and going. For me, that one, that one's got a little bit of bark on her, and that may just add to the smoothness some, but, I just maybe like to jerk that one up front there, give her a little bit more length, kind of shorten her blade up just a fraction more up front there compared to the class winner. You in third here, man, if you can get your hands on that one, you can see the value I see in her, because that one right there has got a massive, massive back in that one. A real big upper rib shape, big loin and width from behind, and, you study that one on the side when she gets him shown, or gets her shown, she does a great job. The problem with that one is we set that one into motion. That one's neck's way too masculine and deep and big, and then I I think she opens up her shoulder blade there just a notch more than ideal up front. We changed that one up front. Maybe even just give her a notch more flank there. We can play her into that top pair pretty easily. Either comes to us here in 4, that's a big skeleton, good looking one on the side here. We get her shut. I think one that certainly has got a lot of body volume, and again, I like that underlying enter in terms of that sweep to her belly and flank there. We set that one into motion, and I think that's where she lands forward. She just wants to kind of get into herself a little bit more. She just doesn't get out and go. I'd just like to see her give us more lift and elevation up front in terms of just movement when we travel her out. The unit comes here in 5, you could argue maybe north and south on this one in terms of placing. That one right there has got great feature at the ground. I love the bone work and foot size in that girl. She's terminal in terms of her shape up high, but yet she's still feminine enough, I think, up front. As you study her on the side there, that underline, I just got to give her some more flank and some more feel in the belly there, I think, just to balance her up a fraction more, make her a bit better pattern for me to get her into the top 4. Great class. Congratulations to these young people.
Class 8, prepare to enter the ring. Immediately following Class 8, we'll select our Division 2 champion and reserve champion, and right after that, we'll select our grand champion, Supreme Grand Champion. Results for Class 7, first place Brantley Cox. Second place Rowdy Campfield. Third place Kaylin Decker. Fourth place Sarah Knight. Fifth place Savannah Kostecki. Sixth place Emma Paulini. Seventh place Tia Hawkins. Ty Hawkins. Eighth place Mackenzie Adams. Ninth place Blake Morgan. 10th place Elmer Hambrick. Congratulations to our winners in Class 7.
If we can get those class winners from 5, 6, and 7, Class 1 or Class 5, Madison Rule and Kristen Wolf. Class 6, Catherine Bain and Braden Bowers. Class 7, Brantley Cox and Rowdy Campfield. If you have headed back up this way, it won't be long. And then we'll need our Division 1 champion and reserve. Those of you with the registered sheets that have the champions and reserves, it won't be terribly long. So we can get those first and seconds up here, Division 1, champion and reserve, and then the purebreds. Let's all head this way.
Good class here to end on, and you know, again, like I said in the last class, we get into these heavier weights and some of the maturity factors start playing a bigger role in some of these females. And you know, just like the market lambs, and maybe this is important as the market lambs, you know, we can't have too much fat on these girls going in the breeding and that sort of thing. So, you know, I think that plays a pretty big role for me. That being said, I think these top several here, or top 10 anyway, I think are pretty good in terms of their body condition and uniform, in terms of their look and posture. You know, I think it's a two-horse race for me, and not to take one or three down, but I think these two come forward and offer us some muscularity, some look, and some balance. I think in terms of making market lambs, these are the two that have some more terminal shape to them from behind and muscularity there as well. I think maybe we have the advantage just in terms of maybe upscaliness and femininity and smoothness of breastplate goes to the class winner. And that's where I think we start with her, you know, up front there when we set her in motion, she's probably the best up there. She's the most immature in that breastplate, I think, when we set her loose and walk her out. And yet I think she's still hanging up there in her muscle shape. But at the same time, she's still awfully big back when we get her hands on that one. Kind of the lieutenant view here next in line. She gets her cranked up, and that's a good body one. I like that one. Center body shape quite a bit. She's got some turn and some roundness there to her center body. I like how much substance she's got there at the ground in terms of her feature and her bone. I think you start breaking that U apart. We can maybe just slow her down in her tail head and just push her tail head down a little bit. And maybe you can make the transition a little bit smoother out of going into her upper hip. And two, I think when we set that one loose, I don't know if maybe she's quite as immature right there up front. The sternum there, maybe you will see. Good pair of them there on top. Ethan comes here and third, I think, just ran into a really good top pair. Here's a female that, again, you know, good body, long sided. I think one that's big in her kind. I don't think she's maybe quite as unique as the two that we begin with. And by that, I think I just like to lengthen her neck out. Just give her a bit more touch there up high, I think, in terms of this terminal shape. The U that comes to us in 4. That one's got a bunch of muscle, a bunch of power in that girl. She's got muscle volume all over the place. I think down her back, to her leg, you know, up in her forearm there. We can talk about that. Bone is good, foot size is good in that girl. she's maybe not as long-sided. I think when we study her on the side view, I think more importantly for me, we just got to drop her flank. Yeah, she's got some wool there, but peel that wool off, and I think that flank's too high up in her. She's too cut up there. I think that just makes the balance up just a fraction better for us there on the side view. We round out with a fifth place view that, that one's got some pieces to her. We had to get her to the top 5 because she's so wide-made. She's built from the ground up in terms of that base width and that chest floor width and width when she leaves us, a lot of muscle again. That particular female, she's just too quick in her time and maybe too moderate, I think, in these heavier weights. And I'd like to just change that underline in that girl and make it go the other direction, I think, to move her up in class. Good class to work through. Let's congratulate these young people here. Class A, good class to work through.
We're now going to select our champion weather down. We'll need all our first and second places into the show ring for the last 4 classes. Class 8 winners: Raquel Lopez, first place. Second place, Cassandra Halskill. Third place, Karen Lopez. Fourth place, Bailey Lake. Fifth place, Loyal Burns. Sixth place, Lauren Swan. Seventh place, Stephen Lugeman. Eighth place, Sydney Kostecki. Ninth place, Lily McKinney. And 10th place, Carly Kronwitter.
Let me know if you have any more questions.
Okay, if we can get Madison Woods and Haley Severs, Champion Reserve Division 1 in our holding area.
What a really good set of sheep that we've got out here. Let's congratulate these exhibitors. Let's give them a nice round of applause ringside. They brought a heck of a set of females to us today, and we'll get that Division 1 back out here with our Division 2 here in a second and go from there. But man, I thought these classes were really, really good today in these weather dams. I didn't know exactly what to expect when I flew out here and to judge this deal. It's been quite a few years since I was a judging kid out here underneath the trees judging lambs, and and hogs and cattle and that sort of thing. But you know, we got out here. I knew there was going to be a lot of competition from across the country that came together, and sure enough, that holds true. And these females are extra good. You know, these breeders got to be pretty darn tickled, I think, to get these girls back home and to start breeding on them and making the next generation, because I think there are some absolute unique pieces in all of these sheep. Not only as we studied these top 4 here that came out in the class winners, I guess I shouldn't say top 4, but each class winner that came out, you know, from the lighter weight down here. Square made, powerful feature. We got class 2 there. That is an extra high quality, good looking one that's cocky when she gets out. Third class winner comes in. Feature again, a lot of muscle and power in that girl. Likewise with the one that comes out of that last class. I think she combines some look and quite a bit of power and body volume there as well. Maybe one of the broodier ones of the bunch, I guess. And you talk about those seconds over there, you know, good looking, high quality ones again that still kind of just fit in. And from a judge's perspective, man, that was just Cadillac to have those kind of quality sheep come to the ring and come through that gate. You know, it makes my sort a lot easier. A lot of times if I'm taking quite a bit of time, there's probably one out there I just can't find and hang my hat on. And I think through these classes here, there was some sort and some, you know, my comfort level was really, really good with what we did. You know, I guess when it comes down, there's 2 or 3 out here that I just really, really like. And I could study them all day long, and I'd love to put them in my front pasture at home so everybody driving by could see them for sure. But I think there's one that may just have a few more bells and whistles to her in terms of just elegance and femininity and quality. Nothing to take away from the reserve, because the one we're going to slap for reserve is a power sheep that's still got some look, again, with quite a bit of power and shape and look up front. They're a pair of sheep that I think fit together real well in this division. Class 2's champion, Class 1's reserve. Congratulations to them.
We'll be selecting Supreme Grand Champion Breeding You momentarily.
Yes. Oh no, I need to get this slide.
At this time, in the holding pens, we're ready for the champion reserve of the registered breed from the Dorset, excuse me, Kate Van Tyndall and Chancelyn Johnson. From the Hampshires,
You're good.
Loyal Burns and Izzy Cloud.
In the ring right now, we are selecting our champion
And the South End, Emily Ward
division.
and Taylor Williams.
Our grand champion, Weather.
like we talked in the second division there, man. They brought the heat and, these female showmen out here, they came to win this deal, and they brought us some really, really good ones. I can tell you, they super impressed with quality, and the ones that went back, I mean, I can't go on enough about how good I think the weather dance show has been here. We get these four out here, and they're fun to study. You know, if you're ready to get ringside, you're studying in the ring right now, and dial in, because there's some quality out here, but there's still some differences. And these are good stock. We talked about that lightweight division down there and how that one was so balanced and high quality. I like that one better on the move, I think, than I do on the stand. Because she's so high head, she's cocky, she's arrogant when she gets out. That's a really, really high quality one there. And the reserve fell right into place. Maybe it's not as smooth and as unique and a little bit up front. But that was a good division there. And the one we just completed, I thought that one that won that division was excellent to me. Make one like that from a leader's perspective with that body shape and that shoulder blade and how things transition with the opposite side of that was good. That one was good right there. That was really good one, I think, in terms of his body shape at the bottom side. Not only the bottom side of that is, but the center part of that is. And they're still looking at good on the move there as well. The reserve out of that division, I thought they did real good there. A solid kind of female, got a ton of muscle and shape to it. She's exotic up front, right? She's not. That's why she's reserved there. I think when we kind of, our options, we've got good options. But from a judge's perspective, either way you go, I mean, it's going to make you look really good because these sheepers was that good, I think, and they're presented really well. We'll go out and give them one more look. I'll shake the hand and change the out here. Meantime, let's give them a nice hand.
We still need the champion Southdown U down here, Emily Ward.
Congratulations, our champion Weather Dam out of both divisions, competing Catherine Bain, our reserve champion Madison Rural. Congratulations, exhibitors. We need all of our breed champions to the holding area so we could pick our overall supreme champion breeding you.
What? Then we done. Then we get video.
You last call for champion Southdown U. If you're going to participate in the spring championship, you need to be here now.
Entering the ring now are all our breed champions competing for overall Supreme Grand Champion Junior Breeding U.
So we're in right now, we have our champion Joseph, done by Peyton and Kendall, our reserve champion Joseph, done by Franklin Johnson. Next in line, we have champion Cancer, done by Laura Burns, and our reserve champion Cancer, done by Ruby Fox. Next in line from the lineup is our top-down champion and reserve champion. Champion sent out Emily Lane Moore, reserve Taylor Wilson. Now ready to run, is the 291 now. Champion Catherine Bain, reserve champion Madison Will. The judge is going to select our supreme champion now.
Well, folks, it's been a great privilege hearing you. So, this is exciting. I enjoyed last night going through the market lambs quite a bit and saw a whole bunch of different kinds and types and shapes and that deal. And I thought maybe the ewe show came together pretty handily in terms of uniformity and type and kind and like we talked in the weather dams there, from a judge's perspective, that's awfully nice when you're dealt a hand that's got sheep that you like in it and that you're comfortable using. And not every class is that way, but I think when we came into those divisions there, I thought that was some logic and surely a good comfort level with what I did there. We talked about these previous breeds earlier, but just to kind of mention them real quickly here, the Dorsets, only I think maybe 4 in that particular breed, but to have 2 come back out, were champion and reserve that look like this. Those Dorsets are really, really nice. High quality feminine females have got some look, and that's a breed right there that's really, really progressive right now, and they've made those things really good. The breeders are doing a fantastic job getting those things, to look the part of a Hampshire or a Blackface, and they're right there with them, I can tell you that. And I think as you study that champion there in terms of muscle and look and quality and femininity, I think she does that really, really good. The Hampshire breed came out, and again, not a lot of numbers in that deal, but still, we've surfaced with one that's just a Brood U Deluxe. If you're into body volume and flank depth, center body depth, talk about one that's got some feet and legs under. That one right there has got some grizzly bear legs and feet for sure. You like her squareness she's got, like how much center and how much sweep to that belly and flank, how much maternal appearance that she's got there from the side and when we get behind her. And then the reserve comes out, maybe a little bit more youthful and unique in her own right there. Maybe not quite as mature, I don't think, as you study maybe her feature and her body shape there, but that's an extra good looking, high quality one that's balanced and got some length to top and some length to front as well. Again, not super big numbers in the South Downs, but we surfaced with, I think, maybe the most powerful one of the bunch in terms of muscle and shape and body. We come in reserve there, and I think one that just kind of slides in and doesn't do anything special, but I think that still does a lot of fundamentally things right, in terms of being square built and three-dimensional and built from the ground up. And then we round out the divisions here with the weather dams, and we went on about how good I thought those things were and how they came together. And this one that surfaces, I think any judge in America would like to get their picture taken behind that one in terms of just body shape, squareness, three-dimensional look. I think you can study that one on the side, the three-quarter view, and from behind, and you have problems dissecting that one and breaking that one down in terms of being problematic. The reserve comes out, and I thought, it was close for reserve, but that one right there, I love how much muscle that one has, and yet she's so athletic. She's long in her stride out of her hip. Her hock set's good when she gets out and she moves. Not as unique as the class the champion there, but that one right there is going to make some babies. She's pretty valuable, I assume. Good group to work through here. Do me one favor, let's congratulate these breed and reserve breed champions. We'll slap this champion and reserve breed shortly.